My name is Daniel Ayebare, and I am the chairperson of the Uganda Financial Literacy Association. On the 26th of October, we had an IGM, and as a committee, we will try to use this opportunity to give accountability for the journey we've come thus far, but also to project and share our vision for the future. I'd like to take this opportunity, first of all, to congratulate each and every one of the members that made it to the meeting, but most importantly, that shared their ideas on how they want the association to be run and the things that they hope for. We took time to discuss a few questions and challenges that were arising from the members, which were comprehensively dealt with. But we also know that we do not exhaust everything, and so I wanted to use this video as an opportunity to reiterate some of the key items we discussed, but also for those that did not attend the AGM, have them get an opportunity to know where we are going. So in a rough or in a brief estimate or a brief summary, what is the Uganda Financial Literacy Association? This is an association of people that have undergone the financial literacy training of traders program by the Bank of Uganda over the last 10 years. We are an association that aims at promoting financial literacy and coordinating financial literacy activities across the country in line with the strategy for financial literacy, but also the National Financial Inclusion Strategy. So we are simply members that have decided we are going to be part of this journey with the bank, with the central bank and the Ministry of Finance, basically with government, to see how we push the agenda, this information to every Ugandan, yes, every Ugandan, to be able to make sound financial decisions. As the association, we run a social business model where our sustainability rotates around three things. Number one, enterprise. We as an association think we are best placed, considering the human resource that we have, to make money to be able to run the association. So as I will explain in the details ahead, there's some avenues that we have identified to be able to make money for the association, so that we don't have to be to run on handouts. The second one, which is of course the most important, which has brought us this far, is membership. Our membership is two, where we have individual membership, but also have corporate membership. So collections from that membership are actually the funds that have brought us thus far. And I thank you again, members, that have put your money where your mouth is, and you have sustained the association for the last 2 years. Then the other one, which is the strategic partnerships, is also critical. We do know that there is a lot of people in this space of financial literacy trying to promote it. Some are funders, others are technical experts in the different areas and fields. We look at partnerships as a key way, and collaboration as a key way of achieving operational and financial sustainability at the association. So thank you, members, thank you, partners, and I'm going to mention some of the partners that have helped us come this far. But before I go there, I'd like to reiterate some of the achievements that we have had over the last 2 years. We have been blessed to be part of the National Financial Inclusion Strategy implementing stakeholders. We continue to be key stakeholders in the strategy for financial literacy in Uganda. Those are very key documents, national documents, that actually see how we bring people into full financial inclusion across the country. We have been privileged to be invited to be one of the associations or agencies or development organizations that looks at how we can sustainably and more efficiently promote PDM across the country. As you know, PDM involves taking money to individuals. These individuals must be prepared well enough so that when the money comes, it will not be a shock, but they will actually use it for its benefit. And so preparation in terms of training across all the 8 modules is going to be important at every parish, and we hope we will support the best way we can to make sure that this PDM goes successfully. Over the last 1.5 years, through a strategic marketing campaign and media campaign, we've managed to reach over 20 million Ugandans. We have been on every major TV station and almost every major radio station, newspaper, and other digital channels. And this has been really because these institutions found our content worthy of sharing, even at a very low and actually sometimes at no cost. So that has been a big win for us, and we hope to leverage more on that. Our trainers, and these are just a few of them that have managed to share with us their reports and their testimonies, have trained over 35,000 Ugandans in the last 1.5 years. We are sure that with more R&D, with more M&E, with more data collection, we're actually able to reach at least 1 million Ugandans every year with proper coordination, and that's our target. Well, we have established our offices. As you can see, we're in the beautiful offices of the association here, and this has been majorly because of the membership fees and the partner support that we've had over the last 1 year. Thanks to you that have been part of the journey. We continue to become relevant stakeholders in the sectoral campaigns, especially together with the Uganda Bankers, Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, and the Bank of Uganda, in promoting financial awareness. And this month of November, is one of those months that we continue to participate to make sure that there is enough awareness on financial matters. Then, of course, many of you might know we launched our strategy 2024 early this year in May at Serena, and it was well attended, but most importantly, the conversations were very relevant. Where do we go from here? Where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years? I think must be a question that every member hopes to get a clear view of, get a clear vision of, such that they know where their role will be and what will be expected of them, but also what they will expect from the association. UFLA is going to be the rarest organization, and rare is really prefix, meaning it connotes the following. R stands for richest. We're going to be the richest association in this country and probably in the region. Why? Number one is because of our human resource. The kind of people, the quality of individuals we have, coaches, financial experts, advisors, regulators, private sector, most of our members are involved in the aspect of enterprise. And even those who are not so vigorously involved, they have the attitude and the desire to learn and do more and become more productive. So there is no way we should not actually top that curve. Besides, how are we going to spread the gospel of financial management and well-being if we are not living that life ourselves? So for each and every member of the association, your goal should be to be one of the most financially sound people in your communities, such that you may get that moral authority to do that. But also as an association, we believe that we can create a number of enterprises that will generate wealth to sustain the association, but also uplift our members. And I'll mention some of those later on. The A stands for accommodating. Our association has a wide spectrum of individuals, from the banking sector, from the legal sector, from the agricultural sector, from public service. It's one that really brings almost every sector, every age group, all male and female, across board, to be able to participate, because money affects everyone irrespective of where you come from and where you're headed and where you are. Then the other R is regionally reaching. Our association already has members across more than 75 districts in this country, able to communicate in more than 33 languages, and we are totaling to almost 2,400 if everyone comes on board. So that capability alone means that we are able to spread wings to make sure that every Ugandan can access financial literacy information and be able to benefit from it. And we hope that in the next 5 years we at least have at least 2 or 3 members at every parish to make sure that this information is democratized and everyone is able to enjoy the fruit of financial literacy. The last one is E, which is eternal, and this simply means that financial literacy will always be a need in our community, because when generation goes, the next generation comes. Number 2, there are a lot of dynamics in the sector, so there's new information each and every day. So that means that the financial literacy trainer or consultant must be at the top of their game, getting this information and sharing it with the people to make relevant decisions at the end of it all to benefit the society. What are our strategic pillars, focus pillars as an association? There are 5 of them. Number 1, we are looking at strengthening our institutional capacity. Really, this means governance, this means dealing with risks, this dealing with everything that pertains the right legal infrastructure and institutional infrastructure to hold all these dreams that we have. And we've been working a lot of them. Some of them were shared, which included our governance structures, our board structures, and our qualifications, and what we look at really as critical positions and documents for the association. The second pillar is mobilizing and support of financial literacy trainers. As I've said, we have over 2,400 members that qualify to be as principal members of the association. We have so far reached almost 1,000, and we continue to build communication channels to see that we can reach all the 2,400, but also on board those that have not yet attended the training, who we are working closely with BOE to make sure that they can be trained and also become part of the family. So the third pillar is monitoring and evaluation. We need to know what are our trainers doing. And this, when we say trainers, we're not just talking about individuals. We're also talking about institutions. We know there's a lot of work that is being done. We want to get that information. We want to see the impact. We want to share best practice. But most importantly, we want to clearly define and understand the progress made year on year from the interventions that are being done. This could also help in deciding policy in the days ahead. Of course, the other pillar is research and development. As we know, education is really a very dynamic sector. There's always new information coming in, there's always new techniques coming in, there's always new delivery channels coming in. One of the key pillars for the association will be to continuously and consistently research and develop better ways, better content and better ways of delivery of this information to different categories and clusters of groups. What works for youth in rural areas may be different from what works for women in urban areas, may be different from what works for people approaching their retirement age, and may be different for something that works for just early birds in the service sector. So customizing this information will require a lot of research and development, both on the content side but also on the delivery side, and that's going to be important for us. The other aspect is policy support and implementation on financial literacy, of course, because we know that there is a number of initiatives coming through, whether it's from public sector, whether it is from the third sector, whether it's even from the private sector, that is related to financial literacy. The truth is that when people are financially literate and they're able to make the right decisions, all sectors across board benefit. So what is going to be the role of the association in bringing in the right data and the right information for the different stakeholders to benefit through policy? And I think that we shall do, and we shall do very well. We are in a digital era, so we are now coming up with an app that is going to be able to accommodate end-to-end, from onboarding of our FL trainers to profiling them to providing digital financial literacy for the users, the public, conducting M&E and R&D to individual and institutional reporting. Everything is going online in the days ahead. Once we're done with this, you'll be able to go on the click of your, just click your phone, get that app, and search for whatever information you might want. This will also include a chatbot, where if you just, of course, now in the day and age of AI, you just go into the platform, get an area, just click in a question that you want, anything related to financial literacy, it will be able to just give you an answer there and then. So it's a big project coming through that we believe will reasonably support our effort towards driving financial literacy and financial inclusion. One of the other projects that we've come up with is the Financial Literacy Annual Think Tank Conference, and this is going to be specific to a certain group of people. Number one, the trainers, the financial literacy trainers. Number two, the academia. Number three, stakeholders, that's the private sector stakeholders, the sector regulators, and the public sector stakeholders. Why are we saying this? Because we know that under financial literacy, it's not just knowing the product, it's also knowing the regulation around the product. It's not just knowing the regulation around the product, we're also knowing what are the programs that surround that program or that project. So these are key stakeholders in the success of financial literacy and inclusion in the country, and we hope that this focused discussion annually will help our members and the association on the aspects we talked about, especially regarding R&D. What will have been the new products that have come through within that 1 year? What new services would have come through within that 1 year? What programs from either government or civil society would have come through within that 1 year that would actually benefit the people that were conducting these trainings in? And we believe that there are a number of programs that may not be run under mainstream private sector, but actually are developmental and are helpful to the audiences that we deal with in our communities. We want them streamlined and incorporated if need be in the trainings, whether as examples or as separate catalogs for members to know this service actually is available. So that will be the think tank conference, and we believe it's going to help, especially on our R&D a lot, and academia cannot be also taken out. So that is on the side of enterprise, but we're continuing to say not every individual has the same circumstance. That is why even in the definition of financial literacy, we say it is the knowledge, the skills, and the confidence to manage money well, given your unique socio-economic circumstances. So the key word here is socio-economic circumstances. We might all be in the same country, but we have different circumstances. There are people who are rich, there are people who are poor, there are people who society has sidelined, there are people who are they have just gotten out of a certain segment and they're trying to push their head up, and there are people who have just lost their jobs, there are people who have just started working. So it means that you cannot have one course or one training across board. What we have come up with at the association are actually mentorship groups, unique mentorship groups. For example, we have the Uganda Financial Literacy Women Mentorship Program, and this deals with women because women have their own challenges and they also have their own opportunities and strength. There must be a program that speaks to them. We're also coming up with a men's mentorship program because even the men themselves have unique challenges. And though a lot of conversation is going around women empowerment, men have also, in recent studies, show that men are actually also in need of specialized support because the women are empowered, but the men cannot match that empowerment. How do we help the men support each other? And this will be really peer-to-peer mentorship sessions where groups will be leveraging on each other's experiences to promote and support each other. We do have a program for circles, mentorship program for circles, a mentorship program for youth, a mentorship program for families, a mentorship program for public servants. These guys are always at the forefront of policy and the way our nations work. they need to be first empowered individually, but also given the right perspective for them to perform their work well. And this includes politicians. You all know that at swearing ceremony, the number of tents from money lenders, microfinance, those financial institutions at Parliament are more than anything else. And these are guys who are just taking on debt because they know they will make the money, and now if they can't make the money, their property becomes repossessed, and if their property is in danger, they will think for all other ways of making money, and now we are speaking corruption unimaginable. So we need a program, we're working on a program for politicians, including sharing best practice from those that have actually been in the political sphere and have not come out scathed in terms of mismanagement, or in terms of debt, or in terms of struggles with their finances. We also have a program for refugees, and we know that we are one of those countries that have the highest refugees hosted, and so we need to look at this community as a very important community that we should empower and be well. So those programs, each program has an ecosystem that will support it in terms of civil society program, a public sector program, and a private sector program for sustainability. And we were looking at this, that these will also be there. At one point, there will be affiliated programs of UFLA that will be able to sustain themselves, probably also contribute to the sustainability of the wider association. Lastly but not least, we are working on a cooperative and investment bank for the association. Of course, we'll start small, but we are looking at, and this is important because we have noticed that in communities, for community empowerment across, the model has been people working in groups. So we as the association, over 2,400 plus, we need to walk the talk. We need to be able to run these development groups to be able to showcase that they're actually successful. That's why we're working on a cooperative for the association that will be able to pool money together, invest money together, give each other affordable credit to be able to build our own enterprises, and then also build through the cooperative, have income generating projects to be able to sustain the association. I believe this will be walking the talk, and this speaks to the other issue that I told you about, that is called being the richest association ever, because we have all the people here. We have investment experts, we have insurance experts, we have banking and financial experts, we have retirement experts. All that whole pool, that quality is all part of our membership. There's no reason why we shouldn't pull it off. And lastly, we look at, of course, we are looking at the long term of turning this association into a full institute that provides certified and globally recognized financial literacy certificates or diplomas or whatever they might be, and it ushers out advisors across that are accepted and respected across the country, across the continent, and hopefully across the globe. This is going to be a major milestone as we continue to push on the agenda of financial literacy. I couldn't go far, or I couldn't stop this communication without letting you know of the people that have been very supportive, the institutions that have been very supportive since we began this journey as Financial Literacy, Uganda Financial Literacy Association. The Bank of Uganda has been a major support. Of course, we came out of the program that was under their custody, and that is the Strategy for Financial Literacy in Uganda. The Ministry of Finance has been extremely supportive. National Social Security Fund, Care Uganda, Diamond Trust Bank, Uganda Institute of Banking and Financial Services, NTV, Bank of Baroda, the Presidential CEO Forum, AMFU, Equity Bank, the Daily Monitor, All Round Consult, Centenary Bank, Stanbic Bank, New Vision, and FITSPA. We thank these institutions because they believed in us right from inception, before we even had evidence that we were actually serious about what we were up to. So I cannot thank these institutions enough for their continued support, but also for their guidance in different aspects. That is it from me, ladies and gentlemen. For those